Again, I want to welcome everybody. Sean, let's have a roll call.
September 24th, 2018 City Council meeting, Mayor Mike Oakes, President Clerk Treasurer Sean Durkin, Attorney Larry Greathouse, Council Members Brian Hatfield,
Here.
Jack Kelly,
Here.
Jerry Lamb, Connie Rayburn,
Present.
Trent Wisner. Here. Mayor, that's roll call.
Thank you. Let's have the approval of the minutes for September the 10th.
I make a motion to accept the minutes.
Con made a motion to accept the minutes. Jack seconded. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. We have new city council business, public hearing on 2019 budget.
Okay, with that, then, if there's anyone in the audience that would like to make any comments about the previously advertised 2019 City Council budget, now would be the time.
I think you need to do a good job. You need a pay raise.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah. Move on to something else.
Okay, if no comments.
So if no one, if I could get a motion from council to close that portion, the public hearing portion of the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Trent made the motion.
I second that.
Connie seconded. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Okay, Area Plan Commission rezone request. Marie?
Before we do that real quick, I do have a claim in for reimbursement of a demolition that we did on 624 East O&M for $3,875. So you have that information tonight. Do you have any questions?
Battery's dead.
Dead, Mike.
Oh, no. Huh?
624 East Sean, how much do we have in our demolition budget? Or do we have anything left?
There is still some money in the area plan, but I don't have a number.
I think when I talked to Rita, after I submit this one, it's probably less than $100.
Yeah, there's still about half an hour on it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think after this, I think there was 13.7 maybe, something like that, and then after I submit this, I think it brings it less than $100.
Well, it's a good thing we didn't tear down that shook house, isn't it?
No comment, Brian.
If something should come up though before the end of the year that you're going to need more or something, let us know. Okay, we got it. If there's something else.
We had another one that I presented to you, but that one, it was over on South Gum Street. It's kind of the small one that's set back in the weeds. And that gentleman actually bought it on a tax sale. So instead of having to put on the taxes or reimbursed, it was just kind of clean slate. So he paid for it, he cleaned it up, and we just left it at that because he would have just turned around and had to pay us back anyway. So here, Jones, the Jones property over on South Gum. So we don't have anything for that. But we may possibly have something more. So next I've got the rezone request for 2305 North State Highway 3. That is being rezoned for Grass Second LLC through Prism Engineering. You've got all those copies in your packets. They are zoned commercial under the old zoning. So to bring them current, whenever they, again, like they make changes or build or do anything, they're asking to bring current zoning, which would be commercial planned business. And there is a Hardee's going in there. They've been for a variance. There were some issues with Dr. Coleman and some things that they didn't think about, so they are moving the Hardee's up just a little bit. They're gonna put a berm along the back side, so that when people are inside eating, they can't necessarily see what's going on over at the vet's office. Some procedures that may or may not happen, so there's been a little bit of changes, but overall, the rumor at first was they weren't gonna have seating, and they will have seating inside for approximately around 50 people. So this is kind of the last step before they get started.
I make a motion, we accept your request to rezone that property from commercial to commercial plain business.
Connie makes the motion.
I'll second that motion.
Brian, second that. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie.
When do they look to start?
I would assume any time.
You have 2 copies, Marie, you're passing them down?
Once we get I know that once this was approved, I got a call in the morning, and then they're gonna go ahead and submit for the building permit and all that.
Okay, liability and workman's comp, John Wright.
Okay, John Bryan and I have been working diligently on the renewal of our workman's comp and our liability and asset insurance. Is John here? John is here. Basically the rate from the, John, I don't know if you want to speak or just have me carry on.
You're doing fine.
Anyway, after looking at some options and going over some rates, basically EMC is holding the rate. There's a slight increase in cost based more along the lines of the increased amount of assets the city owns, such as the assets at the quarry, for example, just raise our overall replacement value up, but rates remain the same. We've been with EMC Insurance since I've been in office for 7+ years now, so if you have any questions for John, he's here to answer them. Otherwise, it would come with a recommendation from the Treasurer's Office to renew our insurance with EMC through Bite Insurance.
I so move, ready for a motion.
Jerry makes the motion. Jack seconds it. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. All right, health, dental, and vision insurance renewal.
I'm kind of slow down here.
All right.
With the liability and workman's comp, it's going to be said it's going to be a little higher just because of more assets, but the rates are the same.
Right.
So we're okay with our budget, with
Oh, absolutely. Actually, you're more than okay, because I generally put in a 5 to 10% increase,
Okay.
almost expecting that, but it didn't happen this year.
Awesome.
No, we don't, no.
Right. Again, is Mary Lee here or Tony? It doesn't look like it. We've been working through our health insurance renewal with SIHO. We took it upon ourselves to go to market this year with health insurance. Our loss run's been way down, so we felt like it was a good time to get some other quotes on our health insurance. As it turned out, SIHO was still by far the most competitive of the 3 that we looked into. So with that, I would, 2 things here. I know we've talked in our budget purposes also about increasing the percentage of employer contribution to our employees' insurance contributions too. So after running the numbers, I feel very confident that we can increase that percentage from 75% to 90%. I know we talked a little higher, but that's a very conservative, comfortable number. So unless council has any additional questions or comments, then I would take a motion to renew our health insurance benefits through SIHO Insurance, or dental and vision through Anthem, with the employer share being increased to 90%.
I shall move. Jack, go with that. Jack makes the motion.
And just to be clear, that did do away with the HSA.
That's also true, and also to be clear, we're not increasing the percentage of the vision and dental. I know it's a lot smaller amount than health insurance, but, again, for an employee on our family health insurance, for example, they'll see an in-pocket savings of over $3,000 annually. So this is a big, big benefit to our employees who are on our insurance plan.
I am very excited about it, so I second that motion.
Connie seconded it. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
It's a great benefit for our employees. So
Housing,
we can do it.
sorry, Connie. Housing study discussion, HPC network.
I just put this on the agenda. I didn't know if you were prepared to move that. I know we had a small conversation at the last redevelopment meeting, so I don't know where you stand on, or how you want to move forward with that, but
Still, with the uncertainty of what's happening,
okay.
I still think we need to keep this on the back burner.
Okay.
Just for right Okay, moving forward, notice for award of the pool project.
Tim?
Yes, sir. Good evening. As you're all aware, the pool bids were opened on September 5th. They were a lot higher than what we expected, based on a couple of items. In our opinion, number one, every contractor is busy now. We've seen an increase in the prices. With that, the apparent low bidder was Maxwell. Within 24 hours of opening the bids, he had reached out to the city and asked to withdraw his bid due to a clerical error. They totally left out an entire scope of work that he thought a subcontractor was going to do, and the subcontractor thought he was going to do it. So with that, we moved down to the second place, which was Dave O'Mara Contracting. We've validated the bids. We went through them, we checked. They have everything accounted for. It is our recommendation in the packet to award the contract to Dave O'Mara with the assumption that we are going to do some value engineering. He has agreed, so we're working towards that, reducing the cost. Not a number yet that I can provide, but we are working towards a better number. So it's our recommendation to go ahead and award the contract to Dave O'Mara with the assumption that we're going to be doing some value engineering to reduce those costs.
What was his bid for the public?
Oh, I'm sorry. Dave O'Mara's base bid was 3.343 million. 3.43.
It's right here, Jared, on the handout.
Yeah, it should be in your handout. With all alternates, it was 3.4. Of course, now it's needless to say that the alternates probably will not be considered. So we're still in negotiations with them. We actually had 7 bidders. They were all fairly tight, so I think it was a very good bid, and we're working with them to reduce the cost. So in your package, you also have a notice of award and a typical contract that we use when we do a lump sum bid with our contract. Probably need to have Larry review that prior to issuing that contract. Any
Sean,
questions?
Sean, would you, financing wise,
Yeah, I mean, without saying too much now, I'm very encouraged by the initial financing numbers that I gave to you were a little bit on the conservative side. There were some options that I was able to look into, and although we've not closed on the financing yet, I'm very encouraged that the financing numbers will be substantially cheaper than what we originally anticipated. So much so that the extra, $400,000 or $500,000 we're talking about borrowing to make the 2 projects go would have an annual payment of less than what was anticipated at the original $6 million number. So there's, from an annual debt standpoint, the numbers are still fine at this price point. And correct me if I'm wrong, Tim, but part of the reason, before we can see how low we can get, again, we talked about some basic things to lower it, but we can't really get into value engineering really until after we do the awards. Then at that point, we can contact O'Mara's subs and be able to have a dialogue with them so that we can get recommendations from them of where we can, cut corners is not the word I want to use, but, find equals and look into things that could make this more palatable from a price standpoint.
Correct. Contractor, and rightly so, is not willing to have his subcontractors talk about value engineering until he's under contract. So that is correct.
well, with that being said, I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid from O'Mara for the pool construction.
Jack makes wants to accept the bid for O'Mara.
I'll second that.
Brian seconds that. All in favor? Motion carries 4, 1 against. 4 to 1. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Request for ordinance waiver, Larry Humphrey.
I'll speak for what Larry was, I thought he was gonna be here, but what it is Larry's wanting to build a house in the annexation area there on his father's property. And he wants to build it fairly rapidly. don't make much sense to make him put in a septic system and then in 6 months he's got to dismantle it and hook onto our sewer. He has no problem hooking to the sewer, he wants to hook to the sewer, but he's been waiting for a year to build his house, and he don't want to have to wait another year until the sewer is probably done.
Where is this property?
300 North,
Where at?
you know where it's, you turn off of 3, then there's the properties for sale, then it'd be the next property, there's a White House there now that he's gonna tear down and build his new house right there.
Is the, are there neighbors close by, or is it?
It's gonna be his father.
Yep.
I mean, there's neighbors across the street.
What does the timeline look like for us to be having sewer available to that area?
I mean, that, Brian, that part could be quicker than some, because, you know, like say, if they're gonna start in the winter and they wanna work when it's wet everywhere else, a lot of that is in road right away, so they could probably work there better than they can in some of the other areas. I mean, there's already a lift station there that's already put in to where that portion would be going, so it could happen quicker. I mean, be up to the contractor, but I mean, I think it could happen. And he said, I'll pump it once a week if that's what we need to do.
What will happen to his holding tank after he's hooked
He
on?
will, when I give him the permit, there'll be a letter attached that he will have to dismantle it, fill it in with gravel, just like the septic tank that everybody else has got will have to do.
So the tank will be in ground, the holding tank's in ground.
All right, good.
Laying that sewer line along too, get nice and level, it'll be hard to put in.
All right.
Too hard to put in.
So do you need a motion for?
I mean, I think we need a motion to, if it's outside the sewer use ordinance, I think we need a motion for this case to vary outside that ordinance.
Why so moved?
Jack makes a motion for Amber.
Do we,
Jerry seconds it.
do we need to put something on that that states as soon as sewer is available, he does that? I mean, I know we have
I
it.
mean, I will.
Okay, you take care of that.
Yeah, I'll attach a letter to his permit and I'll put all that in the letter to you.
And I would have him sign.
Yeah, him and I's already discussed this, and so.
Does that have anything to do with area plan? Do the,
Well, before we can issue any kind of building permit, you would have to have a permit from Russell.
okay,
I mean, that's not something typically allowed, but that would be up to Russell.
okay.
I'm sorry, who's seconding that motion?
Jerry. Okay, all in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Russell. Request for street closure. Styles here?
They came to us last year and they had a block party on a Saturday, and I think they closed it like from,
On Gilbert Street.
yeah, Gilbert Street from morning to early evening, and they were gonna do this coming Saturday. But
This Saturday?
that's what she had asked me about, so I don't know if they're still,
She told me it was still on.
okay.
I know we made them last year, make sure to keep the lane open, for fire trucks, emergency personnel.
I think we had Rick put up just a couple barricades and that was it for a few hours. and
I think they were just cones, I mean, it was
Pretty
more
low key.
courtesy closure than a hard closure. So people, if they had to go somewhere, they could just drive down
Did you have
slowly
any,
and get out the
do you
cone.
have any issues with it at all?
No.
Need a motion on this?
I still make the motion that we give them the street closure for Saturday.
Jack makes the motion.
I'll second
Trent
Jack's motion.
seconds it. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0. Trail benches. Kara Kelly.
I have a proposal from the North Vernon Kiwanis Club to donate one all-metal trail bench for the Muscatatuck Walking Trail. We have a mock-up here for it along with bench specifications. It's looking at a 5-foot bench, similar to the ones that were at the fairgrounds over the summer. That will be manufactured by the high school ag department, so it gets kids working on that as well. Kiwanis will be paying for the production of it and the powder coating, but we just ask wording can change on that. That was the design Brad had given us originally. And I am open to any wording changes and any suggestions on that.
You mean Carl is not going to put this up?
You know, he said no.
So is it gonna look like the one out at the fairgrounds?
It would be similar to that. The ones at the fairgrounds have the wooden bench. We're looking for all metal.
Oh, this is
Just
gonna be
for
all metal.
durability, yes, for durability, looking for the all metal.
I guess my concern is if somebody else puts, I don't want a bunch of different benches. I like them to be consistent. Anyone else donates benches. So I don't know how we can, I mean, that's great that you're doing it, sure appreciate it. But like I say, if someone else wants to donate a bench, it should be like this bench also.
Right.
Is it gonna have advertising also on the bench?
It would have the Jennings County or North Vernon, whatever you want on it, and then donated by Kiwanis.
So you say this is the ag department doing this, if to go along with Jack and having these done, if we have a business that would want to donate with the ag, could we have the money go to help them build another bench to help the program, or do you know?
That would have to go through Mr. Briggs.
Okay.
I know they did the ones at the fairgrounds, so that was business sponsorship.
How many were at the fairgrounds? The one?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, there were multiple. I would say 10 or 12, but I can definitely be wrong.
And who made those?
The same group, yes.
And they all made them
Yes,
consistently the same?
yes. The only thing on the fairgrounds, they had I believe, a plexiglass cover on the top where it shows the advertisement there, the company sponsorship,
Mhm.
and that can slide in and out
Okay.
to pay for sponsorship.
Sure. Good idea. Well, if it needs to be a motion item, step what the Kiwanis wants to do with the bench for the Catatuck Trail.
Okay, Jack makes a motion to accept this.
I'll second.
Brian seconds it.
So for installation, we just need, once it's done with, for you to get with the street department and Rick about location and where and stuff.
Correct. We were thinking there's a semicircle off to the side on the trail,
Okay,
about halfway down.
close to White Street, up there,
Yes.
somewhere in there.
Yes.
I kind of think it's neat, then if we get one started, we get other people, and then like when people come to us, we can say, okay, here's protocol, how we, would like it done.
Okay.
Do the benches at the fairgrounds, are they on concrete pads?
They are movable, so I believe not. They were placed out on the pavement, but they were not bolted down or anything. Because the idea out there was to store them over the winter months.
My concern would be that somebody would walk off with it if it's not bolted
And
down.
that was part of our installation request, was going to be that it be fixed permanently.
Okay, call for the question. All in favor? Motion carries.
I have to abstain because I'm a member of.
I can see that in my hand.
4.
All for it, but
One abstention.
I need to abstain.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Jack, you got something to bring up?
Yes, 2 weeks ago, we had steam in the city or whatever it was, and I'd just like to put out a shout out to the Arts Council. They did a great job putting that on. They were the one that spearheaded it, more or less. Lily was a big instrumental in pulling this off. Thank you, Lily. Madison Railroad, I'd like to thank them. The Park Theater played a role in it, helping to sell tickets for the train ride, and the Northern Street Crew. I think there was a fairly good turnout for the train ride, the evening. There wasn't a large turnout. We're trying to do things for people in the city, and they didn't show up this time, but I guess it's something that's ongoing, and we want to keep pushing. My question, and one of the concerns I have, does James County still have a tourism director and tourism board? And why aren't they helping us out with these kind of things that's going on in the city and the county and so forth. Does anyone on the board here know anything about tourism?
I understand they have a tourism board, I don't know if that's about it.
And do they have a director now also, or do you know?
I think, I don't know, I think Judy might be the committee Ross, but that's as far as I know.
Could you find that out for us next meeting, Mayor, and give us some kind of report on exactly what the tourism director and board does? And if they can help us out,
I can
when we have events and so forth?
I can try.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Is
ahead.
that the city I represent?
Yes,
Who's your, I know Lily was on it, is
she
that now?
was, we're trying to get another one.
So you don't have one right
No,
now?
we don't have one.
They meet, if they public meetings every month.
Do they? Okay.
Does the money from the innkeepers,
Goes to
does
them.
it with the sale of the business, does the innkeepers' money go with it too?
Still a business.
Did the Perfect Day, when it was recently,
They just met there. What do you mean still a business?
I was under the impression with their tourism sign there, that's where all the tourism money was located with the director.
Judy owned it, that's where people would go to see her. The tourism has nothing to do with the Perfect Day, really. I don't know where they
That was
meet now.
that was my understanding,
I'm
that
not
was
sure
where their
where
office
they meet
was.
now, they used to meet down there.
Yeah.
I'll look into it and try to find, get some information, bring some back.
I know on Facebook, I see a lot of things that she posts from them about events and stuff, so
Yeah.
I do see it that way.
Do they have a website or anything?
I don't know if they do.
They do?
They do.
James County Tourism or?
Oh, yes, I pointed that out.
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Tourism, JenningsCountyTourism.net, I believe, is their web address.
Okay.
How much did we put into that?
Nothing.
You know, it's,
So all the money comes from
Just
hotel
from
taxes,
hotel
not to
taxes,
the
right.
county,
I
right?
didn't know if we put anything extra in it.
And also yesterday, Hippies, I want to give a shout out to Hippies for putting on the, what was it?
Block party.
Block party. They did a great job. Again, it wasn't heavily, people there, but it was downtown mall. And really, it's one of the first events we've had at the downtown mall. It was really an excellent place to have a block party like that. I thought it turned out real well. So I want to thank Hippies also for their hard work.
Okay,
That's all I
thank you, Jack. Russell, you have anything to say?
One thing is, October 2nd will be pre-bid meeting for annexation area, and then we'll be opening bids on the 15th.
Okay. Okay. Brad? Chief? All right, anybody on the board have anything?
I have one thing just to go along with what Jack said. I wasn't able to make the Steam Fest event, but I did go last night to the event. That was the first time I've ever been on that Stellar Plaza with us using the concrete stage, and it really was nice. Something that I want to make sure we do is, for one, get that building opened up, since it's our building, the Picklesheimer's building. And I think we've had ideas about event planners and this and that, but I always feel like there's always enough volunteers. I'd like to have an events board made up, some mayor appointments, council appointments. Just for the fact is, we've got Tripton Park that's roughly scheduled to hopefully be done and ready by May of next year, going into that, I think it's around May. But those are events that need to start planning right now. And I think the more people we have involved with that, the better turnout we get. And there's, just talking to some of the people down there on Stellar last night, everybody talked about how nice of a setting that was and what the possibilities of that could be, and how we can have some outside people set up in that Picklesheimer's building and have the restrooms open. So I don't know where we're at with that. I'd like to maybe look into that a little more and start getting that plan started instead of waiting until later to do it. But I feel it needs to be a board, not, everybody needs to know who's on that, and so we can submit ideas to them and have them run with it.
That's good, appreciate that, thank you.
Trent, I'd like to expand on what you just said. You know, when we have people who come to us with requests for, seed money for a festival or something like that, I would like to see them go through our board before they get to us.
Right.
and have our board determine who's, you know, which ones we're gonna do.
Well, we put money in, quite a bit of money in our festival funds, but we've never said who runs that festival. And any item like that, down there, we could have multiple small get-togethers down there at Stellar. You know, we got tricked in it, we're gonna have to start thinking about. But you know, we've got good money in there for that. I just think we need a collective group, because the more ideas, the better. There's so many volunteers to help out on Christmas in the city and all these to make it happen, so I think the same needs to happen with the festival board.
We need a driving force.
Yeah, and then have one person, you know, head it up. But
Trent, in our budget this year, we had an event planner, a part-time job planned for this year, didn't we?
we had one, I guess in my eyes, I don't know, we have so many people do so much good work as a non-paid, you know, they do it because they love it and they want to be there. I think that money should be used to keep pushing the events, and if we don't have enough volunteers, it's just hard to give one person money and say run with this when there's multiple people that's willing to step up and donate their time.
Sean, we didn't put event planner in the budget this year, did we? Or did we take that out?
We left it in the festival line.
That was part of that festival budget.
Right.
You almost need somebody with an event planner to keep that online. Somebody, a go-to person, if you will. And that's probably something we can discuss.
I just know, look at our TIF boards and utility boards, none of them, you know, I mean, none of them's a paid per se position.
Right.
A lot, Tripton Park pool committees, all these committees just do leaps and bounds, and they donate countless hours, volunteer countless hours, I think. And we've got people wanting to do that. I just like to see money stay in the festival fund, actually use for festivals.
Anything else?
But it won't happen unless somebody makes a motion. Anybody can form a committee.
Right.
We've gone through this conversation before. But unless you want to, you know, formalize it by way of an ordinance, it wouldn't happen. I mean, you can't just
Say it.
say it, yeah. So maybe you need to think about how, I know that the park board is a good example of a good ordinance we could follow. I think what everybody gets one appointment.
Well, then, I'll make a motion to go ahead and write up an ordinance for a board, on your recommendation.
I know the mayor's assistant traditionally did a lot of that, and I think you still do.
Right.
The Christmas, so maybe the mayor's assistant could be the chairman or something like that, and then each committeeman making, each city councilman make an appointment to the board based on what you've seen other people's efforts.
Because she's here, she's.
No,
what things are at.
Yeah, and she does great, and that's what I said, just to have the volunteers around her that's on that board to do, to help. People have different niches, you know, people know bands, people know decorating, people know this, and I think you get a collective group of them. Do better at these.
Lily and I talked about it the other day, and she, on these events, she would kind of be like the point person that they come to and say, they need this and this and this, and she can either get it for them or whatever.
Almost like a coordinator type person where, because once the contact is made with the city, you have all this orchestration between the stage, where you're having it at, the road closures, and as a city representative, it would be good to have that one person to help coordinate all that. Keep the schedule for the stage, keep the schedule for the events, be that one hub piece that kind of keeps it all together.
Well, you know, I know that Jennings County Arts Council, they kind of did it. I mean, we have multiple entities doing it different, but if you've got one group, as time goes, you're gonna know what works and what doesn't, and know what we need. Because, I mean, we're hoping to really bump this up.
That way you have a go-to person, should something, the question.
How do you want to appoint them? You want?
I like the each council,
Each
gets
councilman?
appointing, and then the mayor's assistant runs, head,
Kind
run
of the
point.
executive director or the director of the.
I think that'd be good.
Like that, Con?
So is that a motion?
I'll make
Someone
that
needs to
motion.
make such a motion.
I'll make the motion that Larry writes it up as he did it.
Next a motion,
I'll second it.
Jack seconds it. All in favor? Motion carries 5-0.
And just to let you know, we had somebody come in off the street today wanting to rent out the Picklesheimer's building for events. So they're ready to see what kind of fees they're gonna have, how much the rental's gonna be, so.
And my thing with that Picklesheimer's building is that at one time, the city took it over, talked about selling it. I almost feel you give up your stellar closet if you do that. You can't control anything that happens there. I think we have it, we need to utilize it for festivals, but we've got to really,
It's kind of in the center of the.
I mean, it is, it's in the front door, so
Right.
it
And
can conflict with anything we have going on.
And it needs a little work.
We would waive that for Saturday, no, this year.
Yeah. But there'd be no reason to have portalets out there if we had the door open and had working rest. I mean, everything's set up in there and have events in there and it would overflow into the closet. So it was neat, it really was. Last night when the lights came on, it was a nice scene there.
Thank you, Trent. Anybody else have anything to say? Barbara?
Yeah, could you give me an update on our, street fixture,
What is it?
our light down there,
It's coming, they had to order it because that one was knocked down, wasn't it?
yes,
Yeah.
so we have
So
people
we're trying to
coming
get
to
you,
work before it's light now, and
we're trying to get you a
the
flashlight.
light they get,
No,
well, Tracy.
it's been ordered. I've talked to them.
You knock it down?
No, I didn't. But James can tell you.
Maybe Joe.
It's a city on city incident.
Okay, if there's nothing else, let's pay the claims.
I make a motion to pay those claims.
Have we made a motion to pay the claim?
I'll make it second that.
Trent, say that, all in favor, motion, 5-0. Need a motion to go home. Okay, stay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
I made a motion to go home.
I wanna go home too.
Brian, second, all in favor?